I used to go to bed sometimes. In that stage, I used to pray for death. Honestly, I used to think if I just died in my sleep, I don't have to face any of this.
For me, if a woman called the cops, to me it's like you're the lowest form of human. You're like a snitch. You did something that's petty. You call the cops for pettiness. You're a snitch. Snitches don't get any respect.
If your children are the most valuable thing in your life, if my children were the most valuable thing to me, why is it that I'm not even aware of the fact that I have no rights over them? I have no right to see them. Why was I unaware of this? Is it ignorance? Why? Why is there this ignorance around this space?
It takes a while to get to the level which is called acceptance. So my advice to anybody watching is like, the earlier you can get to acceptance, you will be saved from a lot of the drama. What's your advice to young men out there now that are Muslim brothers looking to get married? What would be your advice?
My name is Farook, based in UK, London, the founder of Disqualified Dads. I entered the system, family court system, March 16, 2022. Relationship breakdown, entered the family court system. I saw the chaos and the oppression that was going on. So I started Disqualified Dads and started making content around it.
Welcome to another episode of the Punches and Prayers podcast. Today I have with me a dear brother from the UK, another Muslim brother, another Muslim dad who's went through his trials and tribulations, stuff that we talk about on this podcast. Our podcast is primarily based on business, success, masculinity, bringing the best possible versions of fathers and men. And I've been watching this guy's content. He was on some very famous podcasts. He was on the podcasts with the famous UK YouTuber. I forget her full name. What's her full name?
Just Pearly Things.
Yeah, Pearly. He was on her podcast and I saw his clips and I decided to reach out to him and hear his story for the first time. Just so you guys know, I haven't even spoken to this individual prior in detail. I just had maybe a 2-minute conversation with him over the phone. And we're gonna unpack his story and unpack what he's went through and his challenges for you guys to see what happens in today's world, in the modern dating world, in the modern, marriage world today with feminism and stuff. And we're gonna see extreme cases, and this is one of them. I'm sure I've seen the pain in this brother and I've seen him speak genuinely, and he's also another genuine brother that really wants to give back to you guys and make sure that you guys understand what you're getting into. So without further ado, assalamu alaikum, welcome to the show, brother.
Wa alaikum salam, brother. Thank you for having me. I truly appreciate you giving me this opportunity to come on and discuss this whole situation, basically.
Yeah, man. I mean, I've seen your videos, and I always respect people who are genuine and have a genuine care and concern, because I'm one of those brothers as well, where I genuinely care about men. And what the hell are we going to do without men becoming men, right? And the world is out there to demonize us and put us behind bars and put accusations on us and call us names and this, that, and the other, right? So at the end of the day, we're all here to empower each other. So for the audience that don't know really kind of your story, if you want to give your story, if you, and it's up to you how extent you want to explain it, because I know there's probably legal ramifications or anything like that. I personally don't give a shit. I tell my story as it is. So go ahead.
No, my story's out. I've been on many a podcast and I've discussed this in many angles, and I'm at the stage now where it just makes no odds. So ultimately, I need to get it out there. My whole journey is documented from when I entered the system, how I lived out the back of a van. I was training in the streets with bricks and blocks. I had no gym membership, no money. I was in the trenches, literally. So I'll go all the way back.
In the trenches, let's go.
Bro, in the trenches, man. That's what I'm saying. And all this clarity came to me in the trenches. Mm-hmm. So yeah, let's go into it really. So March the 16th, 2022. My 10-year relationship, nikah, ended basically March 16, 2022. I came on one morning after a night shift and I ended it. Now, I ended it for multiple reasons. There's various issues with personality disorders, 10 years of living as a hostage in my own life. I was a prisoner and a hostage in my own life, and I was living with this captor in this emotional prison. One day, something snapped. When I say something snapped, I think it was from above. Allah guided me, took me out there before the situation got worse or something bad happened. I believe I was removed from that situation. But as that situation unfolded, March 16, 2022, 10 o'clock in the morning, I end the relationship. That same day, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock that evening, I am arrested by the police. You know the story, guys. You're arrested by the police for allegations of historic abuse, threat to life, coercive control, financial abuse. You know all the cards. It's the same old cards, same playbook. Bang, I'm arrested, taken away to the cell. Now, almost 24 hours in a police cell. You've got nothing on you, no devices, nothing. You're in this cell on your own, just with your thoughts. And you're sitting there, and you know the madness in it. You know when you're first sitting there, yeah?
3 times.
Exactly. So, you know when you're first time you're in there, right?
Mm-hmm.
You go and you think, okay, surely someone's going to believe me like this. Surely they're going to believe me like this ain't real, it's all made up. And then as the hours sort of ticked along in the cell with my thoughts,
Mm-hmm.
after about, after the night sort of passed into the following day, I thought, mate, I look at myself, how I look at her, and I think, you've got no chance. No one's going to believe you. There was an honest thought in my head that, hold on, I might have to go up to court and argue this. Like, and I think, how do I convince them? Because the problem with any allegations of domestic abuse is, it is so hard to prove, and it's even harder to disprove. That's the problem.
Mm-hmm.
Now, and this is where the other issue is, because their argument is no one was there, we don't really know. And okay, if it's physical abuse, you can prove that because you'll see marks, and there will be some evidence of real physical abuse, like there'll be physical marks on someone's body, for example, you might have a cut or a scratch. The problem with financial abuse, coercive control, these things could mean almost anything. Like, it literally means anything you want it to mean. So you having a conversation with your missus about your monthly budget, that's financial abuse. Like, literally, that's what it is. So I'm thinking, how do you disprove any of this? Long story short, following day, police, they give me no further action. It's called an NFA in the UK. I get NFA'd and released. So I've now spent 24 hours. My mind's all over the place. I'm scared. I am shaking. I don't know what's going on, what to do. Like, you just don't know where you are. You've never been in this sort of trouble. It's the humiliating factor. I mean, your whole business is out there for the world to see. Your relationship's ended. Your kids are involved. You're emotionally unstable. So I'm not going to paint this out to be like it was some moment where I felt brave or tough. Listen, it is an unstable, emotionally very unstable moment. You're nervous, anxious, scared. And the thing is, this is just the first day. This is just the start. That's how it is. You're on this roller coaster, and boom, is taking you up straight. So I try and go home, and I thought it's a bit risky for me to go home ultimately, because like she could just come out some other allegations and call the police and whatnot. So I grab my keys to my vehicle and I leave. And I'm on night shift for the following few days, so I think I'll stay away from home. So long story short, there's a little back and forth, a lot of awkwardness. Week later, in England, it's called a non-molestation order. I'm hit with what you call a non-molestation order given by the court. You don't get to go and defend yourself. You don't even have a say in it. You're just hit with this. It's like a restraining order. Can't go home, can't go in my area, can't go anywhere near ultimately her, which indirectly means you can't go near the kids. She's now resident parent. So by securing this non-mol order and an occupation order, what she has done, what she did was she became the resident parent. That's how the game starts. You become resident parent, you take control, you control the game. One who takes control of the kids controls the game. And after that, you're just playing catch up. So now, effectively, 2 weeks later, on the back of all of this, overnight, I'm out on the street. I'm sleeping in the back of a van. I'm thinking, well, I've got none of my clothes, my personal belongings. I work as an engineer, all my tools and equipment, my workshop, it's all at home. So overnight, I'm removed from my life and literally thrown out into the wilderness to just rot. And that is the story of most men. Now, what happens in most cases is you get 6 to 8 weeks, then you can go in and represent yourself, and the judge will make a decision. 9 out of 10 times, they just stamp it off for 6 months to a year, and you're just left to survive on the street. However, no one cares. Literally, that's how it is. In my case, mine just indefinitely ran for 2 years. No response from the courts, major delays, major problems. I literally spent 2 years surviving in the trenches, and key was holding it together and not doing something stupid. Because this period here that I'm talking about, unfortunately, as you know, and you've experienced, a lot of men, they give up. They do something silly. They jump onto other vices just to help get through that trauma and pain, drugs, alcohol, begging on the streets, man. It's a very sad state of affairs. In that period, it will either make you, break you, or completely destroy you, and maybe even unalive you. that's how it is, man. And when I was in this space, like I said, the daily pain and trauma, the daily roller coaster. And I'll say this, I'll describe this best I can. The ability the strength to even get off your back and onto your feet at your bed, even that takes strength. That's how hard it is just to face the day, just to be able to pull the blanket off or wherever you're laying down and get onto your feet was hard work, man. That's where I was, didn't want to get up. You almost like open your eyes in the morning thinking, oh, am I dead? Let me just be dead. Is this real? I used to go to bed sometimes in that stage. I used to pray for death. Honestly, I used to think if I just died in my sleep, I don't have to face any of this. If I just died in my sleep, I remember categorically praying middle of the night. I used to wake up, okay, you're hardly sleeping and get pockets of sleep here and there. I used to wake up and I used to pray, God, please do not forsake me.
You are going through divorce. You are going through depression. I understand you. I've been there. This is why I've put together a book that guides you through every single thing you need to know from my experiences and other men's experiences living in the West for the past 2 years. This book will absolutely help you through every single process, whether it's courts, custody, dealing with fake charges. It's absolutely free, guys. I've put this together for you. You don't have to wait anymore. No one's coming to save you, so take action.
Ya Allah, do not forsake me. I've got nothing. You've stripped down to your core. You have nothing left. You turn to the one road. Simple. Maybe that's what needed. Maybe I was meant to go through this. And then slowly, one day, I went for a walk in the park. We're talking like this is a good 4 to 6, 8 month period. I went for a walk in the park. I thought, let me just try and clear my head. So as I went for this walk in the park, I started jogging, light jogging, while I was thinking about all of this. So as I'm jogging, I'm jogging, and you understand, I'm out of shape. I've not eaten properly in months. I think I lost a lot of weight. I've got my lungs are gone. They're shot to bits. I wasn't in the great, the best of spaces. But while I was thinking, I was jogging, running. And when I stopped and I sat down, I looked at the time. I was running for near enough 40 minutes to an hour. And I thought to myself, I didn't even feel anything. And I thought, I'm out of shape. My knees are bad. Back muscle is good. I've got no muscle on me. How did I just do that? Then I realized that when I was in that space, the strength that I had, the strength that it gave me, something snapped. And in that moment, it's like something in my brain snapped, and any fear that I had of humiliation I was going through, the anxiety, how the world may see me and my situation, what was going, all of this just suddenly disappeared. And I thought, I don't give a shit. I need to do something, anything. Now, considering I was a guy, I was never on any social media. I've never even had a Facebook account, nothing. That moment I decided I need to get on social media. I have to use all the tools that are available to me to reach out and expose this. Try and reach out to my children somehow and try and expose this pain that I'm going through, and all the men that I speak to that are going through this. I thought, I need to expose this, because the problem was when you enter the system, you got to question, you got to look. This is how I say to people, right? I am 42. I was with my, 10 years, 3 kids. My kids are now 12, 9, and 6. Yeah,
3 kids.
And was unaware of the laws. Like, why was I so unaware of how oppressive this system was? And this is the problem here. Men are completely unaware. And every case where you speak to people, unfortunately, in 90% of the cases, the women that engage in these false allegations to take control, they knew the whole system inside out. Was that an accident? So how is it that 99% of men have absolutely no clue, and before they realize what's going on and they come to fight, it's too late. They're 10 steps behind. They are constantly playing catch up. And that's the first problem with this system everywhere. The fact that it's hiding in plain sight. And I questioned myself, and I thought, your children, right? are probably the most, how can I put it? For everything that you will own in your life and have any possessions, your children are the legacy you're going to live for your children ultimately. They're the most valuable, most prized possession, most important thing you will have in your life. Would you agree to that statement?
100%.
So if your children are the most valuable thing in your life, if my children were the most valuable thing to me, why is it that I'm not even aware of the fact that I have no rights over them? I have no right to see them. Why was I unaware of this? Is it ignorance? Is it that men for somehow, like, why is there this ignorance around this space? And then I started looking into it. Before I entered the system, it was so hard to get this information. It's not out there. It's not available. That's when I decided I need to expose this. I need to expose this whole scam. Expose it for what it is, because every single step of the way in those initial stages is designed to destroy you inside out. They will destroy you inside out. It will take every atom of you just to stay alive. And I thought, I need to expose this. I need to document this. I need to lay these steps out in layman's terms so the average guy can go on YouTube and think, oh yeah, shit, I know what he's talking about. I can relate to him. No legal jargon, no fancy words. Just keep it simple where the layman can understand. And that's why I decided to start Disqualified Dads. And 6 months, sorry, not less than 6 months of starting Disqualified Dads, started the channel November 2022, started an Instagram, and then quickly created a YouTube and a TikTok account. And within 6 months, I managed to get onto Islam channel Bangla in the UK. Single Muslim, they got a little Sky channel as well. And recently, I was just on Ikra TV as well, talking about this. And along with that, I've been on a few big platforms, quite a few podcasts. So, managed to get some momentum ultimately. And like I said, a couple of years ago, I was on that Just Pearly Things podcast as well when she was based in the UK. So yeah, that's sort of in a nutshell, a little idea of the journey.
Yeah, there's a lot to unpack here, right? Like a lot of things you said that I can relate and agree with you and talk at length. For me, I think it was the best thing that happened, man, honestly. Wallahi, bro, since the day of my separation, I haven't missed major Fajr Salat. I probably can count on my hands how many Fajr Salats I've missed. And I used to miss them all the time. And one of the reasons I used to miss them, which is my theory, I don't know if I'm right or wrong, but wallahu alam, because with my ex, I used to have a dog in the house, right? And you know how they say when the dog comes in your house, the angels leave? I 100% believe that it was so hard for me to get up to Fajr prayer back in the day. And I'm a healthy man, I'm 35, it just always was a problem. Since the day of separation, I haven't missed a single Fajr Salah. Is that coincidence?
That's really good.
Right, so just for what it's worth, even doing that, bro, it's worth it all. Right? Because at the end of the day, you could have everything in the world, but if you don't have Allah, you have nothing. If you have nothing in the world and you have Allah, you have everything. Alhamdulillah, I understand the other thing that you said, the first 6-8 months, they're very hard for a man, I understand, because it takes a while to get to the level which is called acceptance.
Yes.
It's raw. It's raw, isn't it? The key thing is those 6 months are raw. It's the raw stage. That's what I call it.
So my advice to anybody watching is the earlier you can get to acceptance, you will be saved from a lot of the drama. The drama happens is because we can't accept that a shorty did this to us or a woman did this to us. It's because we're like, how can you, or how this or that, or I paid so much to you, I did this for you, and you would do this to me. This is how you repay me? Because a man doesn't do these petty things, right? A man can't do this police involvement bullshit petty thing. For me, it's I can tell you right now, for me, if a woman called the cops, that's already to me, it's you're the lowest form of human. You're like a snitch because you did something for something that's petty, you call the cops for pettiness, you're a snitch. To me, where I come from, snitches don't get any respect, right? You're a snitch. You're a complete, that's the most lowest form of humanity to me, that bringing police and shit. So for me, it's I'll never ever respect you for that, anymore. Just even that, you're just After that's that juice or that taste is completely gone. It's you're
Yes.
So to me, even when the cops came for me, I was yo, literally you're gonna snitch? You're a little. Like, I kid you not, I was just like, whoa, right? So I went in, did my thing, had all these fake breaches done on me, which got dropped in court later. So alhamdulillah, they got dropped. The courts finally saw it for what it is after 2 years. It's insane how it took 2 years for like one judge to finally realize like this is bullshit. And now I'm actually going after the police service as well too. Like I'm in court, I'm going to be taking them to court for wrongful arrest, for wasting my time, this, that. When they already told me on the phone, when I was on the phone with them, when the warrant came out, that they'll rescind it when I gave them the facts that I had a court order. However, as messed up as it is, I kind of wish that every real man goes through this.
See, the thing is, like,
Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Because what's the other side? The other side is to become a dumbass uncle, like some of our uncles and fathers and whatever, right? You know what I'm saying? And who pandered to one woman, listened to the BS, tolerated it in the name of, I don't know, chopping your nuts and pandering to a woman, and one day your kids are going to be with you, which they aren't either. And for what? Because a lot of those men are some of my biggest viewers. Like, so when I was 17, right, for example, and I used to ask like these mid-30-year-old men who were business entrepreneurs, guys that I used to look up to that were my age, that are my age now, they were that age then, like 17 years ago. And I'm like, yo, how do you like do this thing of like one man, one wife, and your wife talks to you this way and you pander to her and like you're just like, you know, like a little mouse to her and this, that, and like, how's that natural? I'm a 17-year-old kid with all this testosterone. I don't believe in this one woman being satisfied to me, you know what I'm saying? Like, I always never believed in this one man, one wife thing, just to be fully clear. And they'll be like, nah, man, we don't really tolerate it. We just do it because, you know, one day our kids will be with us and I don't want to get kicked out of the house and then I don't want to lose half my money and this, that, or the other. Brother, most of those guys are like in their mid-50s now and 60s and they pander to that same woman and they are so depressed. These are guys with millions of dollars, paid off houses. And guess what? Their kids even left them. Most of their kids left them. And some of them kids aren't even in the fold of Islam anymore.
You are going through divorce. You are going through depression. I understand you. I've been there. This is why I've put together a book that guides you through every single thing you need to know from my experiences and other men's experiences living in the West for the past 2 years. This book will absolutely help you through every single process, whether it's courts, custody, dealing with fake charges. It's absolutely free, guys. I've put this together for you. You don't have to wait anymore. No one's coming to save you, so take action.
But the thing is, brother, see, let's just talk about that, yes, because the problem is this with all of that, yeah. See, before I entered the system, before I went through the trauma, because like you said, the trauma is either a curse or it can be a gift. But you don't necessarily know this. And until you enter it and while you're going through it, you still don't know this, because prior to that, I was living that life. I was living the life that was programmed into me by upbringing, society, conditioning, media. Most people are living in autopilot. Now, what happens is when you go through extreme trauma, your nervous system is shot to bits. Your nervous system is completely gone haywire. Your brain is now exposed to different areas and parts, and you can think and see differently. And then if you can work this puzzle out, you know, wire the brain to serve you and your purpose. Because any boundaries and barriers and social structures that held you in a circle, they're gone. You're going for deep trauma. It's all shot to bits. You're in the trenches. Only then you can cross over to that other side. But most guys, they're living quiet lives of desperation. That's what happens. And what happens is we are being conditioned and we are pre-wired to serve others. Most men head down, they work, and especially in the Asian community, they work, they do the overtime, they pay the bills. Now, as much as some parts of the media push out that, you know, the basic community, they oppress their women, this and that, in the Asian community, from wives and generally in a lot of households, especially in Western households, it's the women that tend to control the situation. And I don't even say it in an aggressive or a horrible way, but guys are so placid, or they've become placid and they just get on and do their job. They're there to serve the family. And what happens is they don't even realize it. They're not living for themselves. They're not living in alignment. They have no hobbies and interests. They just sacrifice for the family because that's what we were programmed and conditioned to do. That's what I'm saying. So when you go through the system, when you lose the most the only thing you can claim that is yours in this world, all the material that you have, every possession you have, will belong to someone else one day. When we pass, it will belong to someone else. That's a given, yeah. But your children will be your children. They will carry your name. They will carry your bloodline. They are your legacy. When you realize that that doesn't even belong to you, you have no rights over it. You can't even see them. You have no impact on in their lives. Then you suddenly realize, my point is the clarity. You look around and you think, why have I not seen this before? And when you go into that stage of trauma, like I said, when you release that adrenaline, that nuclear strength, when you then harness and channel that pain in the right way, and you look at what's possible, the unearthed potential that you've been sitting on, because, for example, I was an electrician. I became a tradesman and electrician. I mean, I'm not knocking it. That served me well for many, many years, and it still continues to serve me. So, alhamdulillah, I'll never knock trade. But
I'm in construction too, by the way. I'm in construction.
Oh, there you go. Listen, I'm going to talk construction after this. That'd be great. Good stuff.
So I build basements for a living here in Canada. We're the biggest basement builder. So we have our own. We have electricians that work for us. We have plumbers that work for us. So it's that's why it's easy for me to build studios in 2 days.
Yeah, listen, I love it. Listen, I'm going to talk to you about your studio after. I'm loving it. I'm going to get some pointers off you. I'm going to build my studio.
Bro, this was built in 2 days, and I had another studio before this that I built, which was also nice too. The first one, if you watch the clips, that was built the second day I came out of jail. But I'll go into that story later.
No, we'll talk about it later. Yes, we'll definitely touch on that. Yeah, so what happens when you go through this trauma? The clarity that I had, the ability to think, and the singleness of purpose. When you focus all of that to one point, anything is possible. Now, a guy who never had a Facebook account in 4 to 6 months, I'm sitting there on a live, I'm talking a live TV show on the spot. I'm thinking, I've got to do this. Because the chains that held me in place, again, these are from your upbringing, your environment, cultural conditioning, the movies that you used to watch, family, friends, these things, you are basically a version of all of these things from your past. And at that point, when you go through trauma, everything is, you are stripped to your core, all your ego, pride, anger, frustration. And when you got that clarity and you analyze every part of your life, every relationship, because you understand you've got a heightened sense of emotion when you're going through that trauma. You can analyze every relationship you have ever had, every bit of pain. You see things for what they are. You talk to people. You've got this sixth sense. You can see the emotion in their voice. You can see what they want. You can tell, what does he want? Why is he talking? You can see things that I couldn't see before. And it was like a superpower. When that trauma was raw, it was like a superpower. And that is what has launched me to here. And like you said, now, as much as I'm here to support the fathers, and not just fathers, I've even supported some mothers who have been on the receiving end of not seeing their children, having separate from their children as well. We even helped a mother get access to her kids again, because I said the kids should not go without any parent, yeah? And I keep saying we make it about the kids, because the problem is with the fathers, no one cares about the fathers. Fathers, unfortunately, don't show up. We're
deadbeats, bro. We're deadbeats, remember? We're all deadbeats.
It's like fathers is hard work. Dealing with fathers is hard work. But I say, look.
Listen, we're all deadbeats. It's the fact, bro. When a guy calls me and says me this, I'm like, bro, we're all deadbeats. Doesn't matter how much you're going to show up, they're going to say this shit. This is something I've learned about women always doing this shit. They always complain about the man. Even the father who works hard, puts food on the table, doesn't matter. Like, there's always going to get this.
There's no value. Man is only as good as the utility he provides. Unfortunately, look, there's some women out there who can appreciate, like a guy in construction who works hard and provides for his family. You know, they have a relationship, that normal life. My point, there's something to be said about that 9 to 5 family life, family structure, normal working guy. They have 2 holidays, and they're content, they're happy. But because of all the exposure to everyone else's life that we have with social media, that, like, for example, when I was a kid, yeah, you know what I looked at, my aspiration was, if you owned a reasonable house, if you could own your own house, drive a reasonable car, and bro, holidays weren't even on the table, but if you went on 1 holiday abroad a year, that was a good life. You did well, you made it. Now, guess what? If you did that, you're a deadbeat. You're a loser. You're a brokey. If you aspire to that life now, listen, you're no one. You're seen as nobody. That is the reality. So unfortunately, social media, the pressure on men, the expectation of men, 90% of men have been rubbished off, have been binned off, right? As nothing or no one. They have no value. And what happens in relationships is when women are seeing this stuff on social media, because Instagram, remember the major following, you know, all these simpy moms as well on social media. The majority of the following are women, are sisters. So when they see all of this, trip to Dubai, this, that, flashy cars, you working in construction, what does he do? He's like, yeah, I mean, he's no one. He's a loser. That's not respected. And the fact is this: you're as good as long as you provide. Men have been reduced to punch bags, cash machines, and utility. Don't provide any of that. If you stopped all of that and started living for yourself, yeah. Because look, how many men, like you said, all the men that when you're 17, you're talking about those men, yeah. How many men live for themselves? Like you could say now, you look at your life, yeah.
Those guys are destroyed.
I can see you live for yourself. You wake up, you pray Fajr, you do your boxing, your decisions are led, and there's no shame in it.
Even when I was married, bro, I was still living for myself. Even then, I was living for myself. Even I was living for her. I believe in paying the bills. I paid all the bills, but I did what I had to do as a man, right? I always questioned it. Like I always even used to tell, like even with her, I'm like, yo, like I don't believe in this one man, one wife thing. Like, it's the most dumbest shit ever. Right? I'm not ashamed of being a man. The thing is, like, we've actually cut our balls. Yet, and this is what I hate is like when you go to the masjid and some of these uncles are sitting there, these unks are talking the biggest game, bro. The biggest game they talk, like, oh, Khalid bin Walid and this, that, and Omar and this and that, and then they get into their passenger side of the Corolla and their wife is sitting there and like, ooh, you know what I'm saying? Like, bro, I'm like, yo, uncle, you're the biggest gangster right now 2 minutes ago. Right? So I never had respect for that shit, right? I never respected that. Like as a kid, as much as I respect like elders, but that attitude is like, super gay, bro.
But then you gotta stand there.
Product. This is what I say. Look, like for example, look, my dad, your dad, they're never gonna understand us on a certain level. They don't have the emotional intellect.
No, they understand. They understand, but they understand if you sit with them. But because it's in their head that they can never accept defeat from somebody younger on a topic that they would talk about themselves, but if it comes from your mouth, they won't take it.
But they can't. If you've not lived that life, it's very hard for them to understand it. Remember, look, when you do a lot of coaching, yeah, when you're talking to someone and they indirectly try and justify or make what you've done look small, is in order to make themselves feel good because they have no reference point themselves where they can relate to it. So they bring you down. So rather than saying, wow, let me see if I can learn from this guy and come up, they bring your achievements down to make themselves feel comfortable. Now you understand, uncle in the Corolla with the missus, like you said, if you look at uncle and the time and generation, as I said to you, that was success for them. You got married, you got a Corolla, you built a community, they done their job. Good luck. But my point is, they did their job and they had good wives, they had good women. If we had the women that they have and that loyalty and respect, you know what? We'd be all right now, but we don't. So they had that. They've had the family.
I was still at 4. I was still at 4 of those.
We have got the harder job, bro. Our job is now, okay, so that programming and conditioning we thought that's what we need to do. But that no longer aligned with the fact that, okay, how do we navigate this? Because we're stuck between generations, between community cultures, first, second generation in this new land. Their job was to come, do the jobs, get the Corolla, have the kids, see the grandkids, get them for uni. Do you see what I'm saying? Their job was different. We are in a different paradigm. So our parents weren't ready for the fact that we're going to be separated from our kids. They probably never imagined that my son or daughter would be divorced. So we now need to take control of the reins.
No, my dad was a real G, bro. My dad was a real G, you know, like, so the thing is, one of the things I used to always ask my ex, even when we were married, she didn't have a relationship with her father. Her mother did the same thing to her, to the father that she did to me. And her father would text her like messages all the time and like say shit like, you know, like, where are you, my daughter? And this, I'm like, yo, like, respond to your dad. Like, this is like ridiculous. Like, why are you doing this to your dad? Like, oh, you don't know, he did this to my mother. Da, 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 da. Well, it doesn't matter. He's still your father, right? He was in your life for like 20 years. And then when he got divorced, like he hasn't seen her in like 10 years or so. So more than 10 years, and or spoken to each other. And then my dad, when I was marrying this girl, my dad's like, listen, I can just tell you, you're gonna do whatever you want anyways, but this woman will do the exact same thing to you, what her mother did to her father, especially the time when you guys are gonna have your kid. This shit's gonna come up. He said it like a real gangster, my dad. Wallahi, on the Quran, it's the exact same shit that happened.
Yeah. Yes, that's what I'm saying. Can I ask you a question? Yeah. So when your missus, you said, Dad, you should text her. How old was she? When was this? Like, how old was she when this was happening? When the dad was texting her, and like she's a grown woman, I presume.
20 to 30, from her 20s to all her life in her 20s.
Now, this is what I'm saying. Alienation, parental alienation lasts a lifetime. So when people tell you, look, I don't want to put anyone coming into the system off. Fight, do your thing, do your best for your kids, yeah. But that realization, there's an aspect in some cases where when they get older they'll come back. You have damaged that child. That mother has infected the child with her trauma, her heartbreak and pain, and this girl's gonna carry it into her adulthood. Let's say the cycle of trauma, she might even pass it on to her kids. And this is what I'm saying. Parental alienation is child abuse. You are damaging that kid. You are infecting them with this virus.
You are going through divorce. You are going through depression. I understand you. I've been there. This is why I've put together a book that guides you through every single thing you need to know from my experiences and other men's experiences living in the West for the past 2 years. This book will absolutely help you through every single process, whether it's courts, custody, dealing with fake charges. It's absolutely free, guys. I've put this together for you. You don't have to wait anymore. No one's coming to save you, so take action.
For me, same thing, man. I didn't give a shit about anything, just my daughter. Like when I first went inside, when it was real, I'm like, okay, this is real. I come out, I build the studio, I start training men, this, that. And then I went in the second time on fake out breaches and shit. I made a dua to Allah. I'm like, Ya Allah, I don't even care if I don't see my daughter ever again. I just want to make sure she turns out to be a good Muslim and reunite me with her in heaven. That's all. And then I saw a video of a brother that I'm sure you know is from the UK. Mahdi?
Yeah. I was on a podcast with him as well.
You need to get me on a podcast with him because me and him will destroy the internet. So I saw a podcast with him in Dubai where he basically talked about his story. And then he talked about how he hasn't seen his kids for 10 years.
Yeah.
And then he talked about the story of Yusuf alayhi salam and the story of Yaqub, and the way he described it wallahi bro, that video saved my life. And I've never met Mahdi yet or haven't spoken to him, but if I ever got a chance, that video of Mahdi Tajani saved my life, bro. Wallahi, on the Quran. And when I watched that, I have it saved on my phone many times. Once I saw the story of Yusuf alayhi salam and the promise and how he was reunited with his kid 40 years later, I was like, okay, you know what? Maybe I'll be reunited in many, many years later, but alhamdulillah, I got reunited earlier. And alhamdulillah, the thing is, Allah's justice comes always. So I had fake breaches done on me on my daughter's exchange. On my daughter's exchange, my ex and her mother would show up there before time. They would show up there and not follow any protocols, not make any precautions. And I told this to the police. And the police still ended up arresting me because the staff sergeant forgot to tell the detective. And now I'm in a lawsuit with the police service, and I'm dealing with the agencies here. I'm going to ask for a settlement for all the trouble that they gave me. And then I stopped seeing my daughter, my own daughter, because I'm like, oh, this is just too much. These people are just going to keep putting breaches on me. And that video gave me the ultimate patience, bro. Wallahi, sabr is not just, it's sabrul jameel. It's the beautiful sabr, bro. It brought me to a point where it's like, now you cannot even this is what you want to do? You want to take my daughter away from me? Go ahead. You think you're going to break me? Go ahead. Ain't going to break me. The world is going to see what's going to happen. And I was like, in the courtroom, you're going to see one day, inshallah. And that's what happened exactly in that courtroom. The judge dropped those breaches. And craziest thing is my lawyer didn't even fight for me like the way I did. He was trying to tell me, oh, well, this is a plea. Because I took a plea on the other charges, on the original harassment charge. He said, you should take a plea. I'm like, no, I'm not going to take a plea for something I didn't do. And then, so the judge dropped 5 of the counts of the breaches, didn't drop the 6th one. So I go in court, I'm like, How does this make any sense? 6 of the same charges, they're the same charges. You dropped 5 of them but kept 1. What kind of law is this? And then the bullshit prosecutor just looked at me and he's like, oh, let me look at this court order again, gives it to the judge drops it right away. Like, this got to drop, this is BS.
Wow.
But you have to know how to fight yourself. But at this time, I'm educated now in the court systems. I understand everything. And guess what? I have my family stuff coming up in November, and I'm going to even destroy them in that too. Watch, I'm going to use all these things that were done to me against these people. These are evil people that need to be exposed. These are very evil people. And there's no other word for them, right? Taking away your kids, using kids, weaponizing kids. These are very evil people, and the world needs to know who these people are, right? And for us not to like, there's a lot of guys that get sucked up and they get discouraged, but I ain't one of those guys. I don't get beat by women. I don't play this game. I'm a winner. And I'm going to show, I'm a very determined human being. And guess what? I'm going to show a lot more about who these people actually are, expose them, right? And you know what? Allah Ta'ala actually, subhanAllah, alhamdulillah, bro. I'm so happy about my divorce because guess what? I got to see her true character. You know when you get to see people's true character and you get to see what kind of stuff that they post or what kind of stuff that they like, I can't say much, but I can tell you, man, the stuff that these people post to, even I'm like, oh my God, this is who you were? This is what you were hiding under?
That's what I'm saying. There's a saying, right? Yeah, you really get to know your wife in family court. You really find out who she is in family court.
Let me add another thing about these so-called feminists. These feminists are feminists they pick and choose their feminism. And they're also allies of the other community. You know what I'm talking about? They're not like really women, bro. They're allies of the, you know what community I'm talking about, right? And you get to see a lot about who these people are, where their Islam was at. Like, they never posted about Islam, but they'll post about this and that, and you're like, okay, and you get to see yourself that in all of this, guess what we post about is Islam. And always lead with Islam. Even in our gangsterism that we do, the way we pull this, we still put Islam first. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, in all of this, whether you're right or wrong or whatever you want to call it, we still lead with Islam and try to find the answers through Islam. Whether we're right or wrong, that's wallahu alam, we don't know. And then you see the other people, they don't put Islam first. They put all this worldly shit first, especially women, bro. Women are in love with the dunya. And this is why all those hadiths of what they say of Yawm al-Qiyamah, that they'll be the army of Dajjal, that it all makes sense, bro. It all makes sense now. And I also understand now why Allah allowed us Muslim men to marry the Christian woman and not the other way around. Because they will not let hold on their deen anyways. Because as Muslims, they're barely holding on to their deen. They're barely holding on to their deen as Muslims. You think as
the contract now is next to kufr. It's a sin so big is next to kufr. They're happy to engage in. They're not even bat an eyelid. Yeah. Them and their families are happy to engage in this. So what does that tell you?
I used to always ask Allah this question, like, why are we allowed to marry the Christian and the Jews, right? I used to ask this question. And I got the answer to that too, about like the war story of the Prophet's daughter and all that. Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. But the real answer is, bro, is because if the Muslim woman married a Christian man, bro, their Islam is for sale, bro. Their Islam is drive-by Islam. They will put it on sale and follow the guy because women are followers, right? So, and then you get to see like, oh, through this, Allah shows you all that now, ya Allah, I understand why you let the man marry, because, we can be with 3 Christian women at the same time, do our thing, and never sell our deen, right? They will sell their deen in the hard, bro, they will sell their deen just to piss you off. There's stories of brothers that are married to Muslim women, bro, and they're in the divorce. Guess what the Muslim woman is doing? She's posting LGB, whatever stuff. She's giving the kid ham sandwiches on the parental visits. This is hijabis, bro, doing this. Hijabis.
Bro, they're willing to, if you looked at it, right, yeah, they're willing to destroy their own children. Anything's.
They're willing to destroy their children, their deen, and everything. And guess what?
Damage your own kids, like.
The misery is still on them. Like, bro, even though I went through all this shit, like when some of my friends, they all look at me, they're like, yo, like, how did you not like break? You're still like doing this actively. Your life only moved up. You look good. You look young. You're still doing nikahs and you don't care. And I'm like, bro, what else am I gonna do? Stop living? Like, bro, like, I'm not gonna stop my life just because certain things happen. Like, like, okay, they got to do what they got to do. I got to do what I got to do.
Yeah. No, you have to. And that's what I'm saying. Look, everyone's on a different stage of the journey. Everyone's pain and trauma has given them different duties and raised different questions and come up with different answers. And if you've got the strength within you to survive and come through and help others get through this, then maybe this is your call. Do you see what I mean? So you got to give back, and it's a form of healing as well. When you
100%. I 100%. Like, I would agree with you. That's why I did it, because I was just tired, right? And I was tired of seeing all this stuff before my divorce started. I saw this stuff before, but you know how selfish we are, and I'll call myself out. You don't talk about something until it's your own problem. So like when I was in that cell, I'm like, okay, buddy, now it's time. And I didn't know anything about cameras, I didn't think about YouTube. I studied for hours at night after work, after I would come home. It's like 4 a.m, I would be watching videos on how to make this or how to make that, how to put the thing together. And then I randomly put studios together. I don't know how, but I randomly put them together and kind of went on this journey. And alhamdulillah, like it's done a lot of good. We've saved a lot of guys from suicide, man. We've saved a lot of men from a lot of problems, and we just got started, bro. I only started this thing, it hasn't even been a year. It's gonna be a year. It's only gonna be a year when was the first video I made? Was in September of last year, so it's gonna be a year next month.
Okay, that's good, man. It's done well. You've done well. I think something you just said, right, made me think here. So, yeah, so you said like until it becomes our problem, so we don't realize. The thing is, right, like I said, I know guys that have got divorced, lost contact with their kids. Now, the problem is, externally, you don't realize, because you can never imagine not being with your kid, yeah? You can never imagine losing contact. You have no concept of what that pain is like. This is what I'm saying. When you enter the system, when you enter this space and it happens to you, that reality then hits you, and that pain, like I said, it engulfs your body, and then you think, damn, that's what that guy was going through. And that guy once told me, but you just cannot know.
So you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, bro. That's what I'm saying. You don't. So when I'm thinking, oh yeah, this guy at work once said to me, he's going for a divorce and this. I'm like, yeah, don't worry, bro. You'll be all right. Let's just get this job done. Come on, we're gonna crack up. Like, I couldn't. You don't realize how bad it is. You just think, oh, he's going for a little heartbreaking. He broke up with his missus. No big deal. You're like, I just want a bit like breaking up with your girlfriend, sort of thing, like back in your year.
Yeah.
But you'll be fine, sort of thing. But when you enter this space, bro, when your kids are involved, when your life's work is involved, it is a whole different ballgame. The pain threshold is a different, and that's what I'm saying, you can never know this. Look, you could go to someone now who's living a normal life with his kids every day. He cannot fathom the concept of not seeing his kids every day. Mm-hmm. You couldn't even imagine it. So when I say try and imagine, because I just can't see that happen. I just can't see how that would be or how that would look. Hence, until you enter the space, bro, that's when you realize, flipping it. And this is the other point. When you're there, if those around you haven't been through this, they can't help you. Hence, you're totally alone. That's why your channel, my channel, the work we're doing, I know you said you're supporting over 600 fathers. This support system, we're helping guys get through because we walked that path along, man. We didn't have the information and knowledge, and we're putting it out there now. So that's the most important thing. That's why I think it's very important that you keep doing what you're doing. I'll keep doing what I'm doing. It's because of that, because you're all alone in this wilderness, left to die, with no one to guide you.
Well, I can tell you, the second time I was in the jail cell, so I first made the gym first. There was no podcast. So I just made a gym, and there was no podcast when I first went to jail. So I made a gym, boxing gym, training men. It was a program that was built to help men that go through this. I'm like, listen, instead of punching her, come punch boxing bag with me, right? Or come do some pad work. When I went second time, before I started the podcast, I made a dua to Allah, and I want everybody to keep me accountable. People watching, you, my brothers. I said, till the day I die, I'm gonna be speaking for men's and fathers' rights. I will take this person. I don't care what I have to go through to be there. You want to put me in jail for this? Let's go, right? I'm just saying, till the day I die, I made a dua to Allah. I'm like, Ya Allah, I will take this cause on, and this is a cause that I truly care about, not selfishly, selflessly, and again, my story is not even that crazy, right? Like, okay, I'm a guy with means, like you said, we spoke about it. If you have means, it's one thing. There's guys that don't have the means. They end up on the street, bro. There's guys in my group that are on the street, bro. And the girl is living in the matrimonial home. I was smart enough to never buy a home. I still rent. So I was lucky that when I understood these things, I never had no shared bank accounts, none of that bullshit. Because guess what? Most guys have shared bank accounts and their shorties take half the money,
Yes.
or more, or all of the money, and they're on the street.
You are going through divorce. You are going through depression. I understand you. I've been there. This is why I've put together a book that guides you through every single thing you need to know from my experiences and other men's experiences living in the West for the past 2 years. This book will absolutely help you through every single process, whether it's courts, custody, dealing with fake charges. It's absolutely free, guys. I've put this together for you. You don't have to wait anymore. No one's coming to save you, so take action.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying though. Now, so I think, like I said, first thing before anything can happen is exposure, awareness. So guys that are coming up now, they have the information that wasn't available to us ultimately. So now there needs to be a system where we say, this is how we move forward, because the way society has come about is, whether by intention, whether by design, whether by a bigger global agenda, where men are sitting duck. You're vulnerable. You get married, and in the UK now currently, like I said, amongst British people, most English people, lowest rate of marriages, lowest rate of birth, and guys are just not moving. They're not even moving. They're not even cohabit anymore. They're like, well, I can't be girlfriend and just never take any risks. Well, go out. She got her place. I got. They're not even moving in. So you see where this is headed now. People are wisening up. But the thing is, with our Muslim brothers, we do things a certain way. We want to do nikah. We want to raise families. That is our path. But the problem is there's no system in place to protect the brothers right now, or the fathers. And now with the awareness, slowly, this is what we tell brothers. Do nikah, don't do registry. And a lot of mosques here in England, just your listeners can know,
I tell them also, never registered on paper, ever.
No, but the problem here is this. Now, what they're trying to do here is, so when you do nikah in a mosque, the mosque is classed as a religious institute, right? They're linked with the council.
Do it on a boat you don't need an imam to do it. You can get
No, you don't. Exactly. So what I say is, look, get the imam, Molvi, whoever, get them around your house or the hall. You do your nikah, pray your vows, pray your du'as, and then do your walima, whatever, your celebration. Fine. But do not go to the mosque, necessarily go to the mosque. Check if the mosque is registered with the council. So don't get registered. That's your first. It doesn't give you that much protection. It's something. That's the least small amount of protection. That's all it gives you, Once you have kids, there's an element of once someone has power over you, you'll see who they truly are. When someone has leverage over you, then you'll see their true character. And unfortunately, when someone has your child, they have a lot of power over you. So you can never really know what's going to happen. But just be aware of the law. Be aware of your rights. Here, America, Canada, just learn what your rights are. What things you need to do. Be actively involved in your child's life. Go to the school pickups, drop-offs, go to the doctors, have that connection so you're involved in every part of the child's life. So if the rug gets pulled from under, you were there, you know what's going on, you know your rights, you know the law. And that's the only protection right now is exposure, awareness, and know what your rights are as a father.
100%, bro. 100%. Like, the best way to live here is to just get your nikah done, okay, and get what's called a cohabitation agreement done. So it's this agreement here, it's called cohab agreement. It's kind of like a prenup. I know in UK you guys don't even have prenups, which is crazy, which is freaking crazy. Here we have that thing, so basically it's a cohab agreement. It's basically saying that in common law, this agreement defines this, and if we were to exit, it defines this. So it's a really solid agreement. And in North America, we have this in Canada and US, so alhamdulillah, that's the best way to do it.
Good, yeah. So you guys are lucky you got that, yeah. That straight away gives you a one hurdle of protection, one barrier of protection. Like I say, in the UK, this is what I'm saying. The way the system is designed is, like I said, you are a sitting duck, and that is the problem. And that you can have a prenup here. If it's done through a certain way, it can hold some weight, but it's not solid. But what you see how it's solid in Canada and America and North America, it's not like that. We got nothing like that here. And a lot of guys are walking in blind, unfortunately. A lot of young. And this is what I'm saying. Imagine now, right? Some youngster in his 20s, yeah, because you got to say 60 to 70% of Muslim marriages ended up in divorce here, yeah. Some youngster in his 20s now gets married, right, as a kid. she pulls this card on him, yeah. Is he gonna have the resilience? Like I said, unfortunately in England, the white community is 10 men a day post-separation, yeah, and alive themselves. Now, are we gonna wait till young boys from our community start going down that road? You see what I'm saying? We need to expose this to protect the generations coming up now, ultimately.
But we need to tell them the real test of Iman, bro. Like, if you're loved by Allah, like, you're going to be gone through tests. You're going to go through this shit, right? And so what? Like, for me, like, the first thing I do is when a guy calls me, and this is how I handle phone calls. So I get a call from, let's say, some guy anywhere in the world, UK, Canada, US. Hey, brother, I saw your channel, blah, 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 blah. I'm going through this. My ex took the kids from me, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, great, congratulations. What do you mean? Da, 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 da. My kids are gone. Go make more kids. Da, 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 da. Go live your life. What else can I tell the guy, bro? I'm not going to tell him no sob story, bro. Because most of the people, guess what they get, you know why they unalive themselves, especially our Desi people? Because the first thing what happens is the mother, the grandmother, or the aunties, oh, you must have done so bad. You were a disgrace. You got divorced. Not divorced, divorce. You got divorced. Your life is over. Like, bro, chill. Life's just started, homie. You know what I'm saying? So we have to reverse engineer the paradigm, bro. We have to tell them, like, yo, you have to, bro, our Sahabas were gangsters. They would divorce a woman and they would go do an elan in a masjid and say, hey, somebody can take her now. I divorced her. Well, that's the kind of G's our Sahabas were. We preach them, and then these beta uncles and these beta aunties are like, divorce. You know what I'm saying? It's a divorce.
Yeah, I think the problem is, see, we're from a generation and a community, historically, from the Indian subcontinent, divorce was frowned upon. And we're from a generation, so if you look at someone in their 20s gets married, he will look at divorce very differently to me. They'll be like, yeah, no big deal. We're from a generation, or I was definitely from a generation where once you were in, you were in. Once you were married, you were locked in.
How old are you, by the way?
I'm 42. Okay, I'm 43, yeah. I know I don't look it. I know it's hard to tell.
Yeah,
I mean, I am a specimen of a man, so it's hard to tell. I get it, but yes. Hey?
Pakistani as well?
No, I'm Gujarati. I'm Gujarati Indian. So we are very classic people. You know, Gujarati is very classic, easygoing people. You know, so men get walked all over, unfortunately.
Listen, you're alhamdulillah, you're Muslim. That's all that matters. So my nana was Gujarati. My mom's father was Gujarati.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I have Gujarati blood in me too somewhere.
All Gujarati. The Greeks say all Gujarati somewhere. Do you know what I mean? Now, so yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, so like I said, the youngsters now will look at divorce very differently. So I'm from a generation who remember that. I never looked at divorce like that. It's only now that we're like, no big deal, you know what I mean? But at the time when you're in it, like I said, those social chains and those barriers and the conditioning in your mind from your upbringing, your environment, it's hard to break out of that. So we're from that generation, and our parents are definitely from a generation where, and the aunties, where divorce is so frowned upon. Because you remember, they can't undo what they are, bro. They cannot undo their programming of how they grew up in their environment. So they can only preach at the key is being aware of that. And this is what I'm saying. Being aware of the information you're taking in and who you're listening to. It goes back to that. All of this goes back to you as an individual. Who are you listening to? The information you're taking in, should you be listening to them? If you listen to them, have enough understanding to listen to them, be respectful, in one ear, out the other, move along, know what you need to be listening to, because they can't relate to you, they can't relate to your situation. And this is what I say to fathers: if you're going through it now, you need to relate to those, speak to those who've gone through it, because they can guide you through this roller coaster, guide you through this jungle, ultimately to a safe space where you can then navigate and manage on your own, ultimately.
What's your advice to young men out there now that are Muslim brothers looking to get married? What would be your advice?
I would say, first thing I'll say to Muslim brothers is this year: any notion or imagination or whatever perception you have of marriage, forget it. It ain't real. It's none of that. It's just this illusion that we have, that we are conditioned to believe through, I don't know, through Bollywood, through TV, through whatever perception. Look, until you're married and in a relationship and you have that emotionally involved, you have a kid with someone, you're living together, you're responsible for each other, you can't know what it's like until you're there. So whatever notions you have, get rid of it. Number one. Number two, I would say, is if a Muslim brother's getting married, you know, like a lot of unfortunately in the community, we have this checklist. Is she this? Is she? Look, go on. If you've got a bit of chemistry, I think that'll go a long way. Because if you've got a bit of chemistry, you get along, you click, you guys can joke around. You have that sort of you're in sync. You got more chance of it surviving. Do not assume it's a black and white checklist. How people gel and vibe is very different. Number three, if there is no advantage for one party, so let me put it this way, like for example, divorce is, like I said, initiated by women globally, all communities, all culture. We know this globally right now.
Yeah. It's 80% out here is initiated by
80% initiated by women globally, every community, every culture, and not just another community. So what I say to you is remove the incentives. Have no incentives there. Do not flash the camps. Do not flash the houses and all of this stuff. So you can
no shared accounts.
Like you said, you can rent a house.
No shared bank accounts. No shared bank accounts.
No shared bank accounts. Also, I will say to you, in certain communities, there's this issue of mehran where they're demanding thousands. If someone's demanding thousands, walk away. I say to guys, value, and I said my other advice to guys is, when you walk in, the problem is because of the society we're living, it's ultimately the guy is going there to see the prize and bid for the prize. You walk in, you reframe in your mind that you're going in, you value yourself, you are the prize. And I would say to young men, go out and do different things, experience different things, because it builds this character. Because when you go into these interactions with the in-laws, with this woman, you got to understand the energy you project, the energy and the frequency that you project and communicate with, it all comes down to your experiences and your character of who you are. And if your character is weak because you've not done anything, you've not been in these negotiations, you've not challenged yourself in spaces where you're just a timid, let's say Gujarat, I'm talking about, you're a timid, young Gujarati guy, just been school, done your studies, been a good boy, gone mosque and back, you're doing the right thing. You know that projection where a father-in-law sees you and think, yeah, listen, we can control it. A woman will see and think, yeah, you need to, like, I'm not big on trying to promote the, like, be an alpha, because everyone's different. Look, everyone is different, but the key is know yourself. You know who you are, know your character, and know what you stand on. Not your mates, not your mum and dad. Don't marry, like, for example, a lot of us, we marry who we're supposed to marry based on our environment or our family or society, whatever it is. Know yourself, right? Know what you stand for, know what you like, and know what you want. That's what I'm saying. Stand on that and get to know yourself. Before you get married, know yourself first. Before you get to, this is my biggest advice. Before you get to know someone else, get to know yourself. That's what you need to do. Go and do some boxing, go and do some training, go and do some reading, get some mentorships, get some coaching. Expand your mind, know who you are, and then you've got something to offer. Fill your cup, then you've got something to offer someone else. A lot of guys are getting into marriages with the empty cup, and because when she comes in, she fills it with all this dopamine and excitement. They think they love her and they'll do anything, and they lose their common sense. So that's what I'm saying. Fill your cup, know yourself, build your character.
100%, man. What's sad is also, like, I feel for white people. Their race is dying because of this family law. Why would white guys want to have more kids? Like, their men are like, yo, we don't want to have kids in this system. Like, I talk to white guys all day long, and they're sad because they see our society's growing, and they're like, yo, we'll soon be replaced. And I actually fight for white people. I'm like, I can understand that. I understand how you're feeling, how you have these feelings, and then one of your kids becomes racist because he sees, but how are you going to have the white race grow when the white people made these laws? This is a white people system. So my thing is, you guys are reaping the sin of your laws. You're reaping the sin for the stuff that you did, and now you're inflicting that on other communities and other shorties, and you guys made this law. If you guys fix this law, guess what? Your white community will thrive, they'll have kids, everybody will have more kids, and everybody will win at the end. But right now, because us, we have Iman, we still don't give a shit. We'll still go on and make more babies. Like, what I'm saying? Like, we don't care. We're like, okay, I've already been through this once, it can't be this bad. Next time I'll do it this way. Like, The ideal life for a Muslim man today, and I don't know if this is going to get me canceled, I don't care. The ideal life for a Muslim man today is to have multiple nikahs done, live in his own house, and have expectation and boundaries from these women, since they want to play this game of like the Western woman. Okay, well, you're going to pay half the rent of your new house. You're going to pay for it. I'm going to live in my own house. You're going to pay. I'm going to pop 2 babies in you. I'm going to pop 2 babies in her. Pop 2 babies in her. Cool. And you make enough money, you guys take care of it. That's the way to live as a Muslim man. Otherwise, living with a woman already is a problem with today's woman.
The key is this, though. This is what I'm saying, bro. This is what people listening to understand, yeah? You can do that now because you know yourself. You know who you are. You know what you stand on. This is what I'm trying to say. At first, everyone is following someone else's perception of manhood. As a man, you've got to first decide what is important to you. What is your perception of manhood? How do you describe in your head what you see as a man? And then you can live by that, not what any external influence has told you. So that's the rule number one. Know that, okay, do I like this? Do I truly, like, for example, for a man to openly say, this day and age, actually, I don't really want to settle down with one woman. If you can confidently stand on that and own that, say, I'm actually not going to settle down with just one woman. Yes, or I am married to one woman, but I would like to be with other women. I would like to have other nikahs. For him to openly say that without being shamed himself, so to look in the mirror and say, that's what I want to do. That will make me happy. I want to exercise that as my belief, my right as a man, and what I want to do. Now, how do I engineer my life to be able to do that? So the key is this, and this is what I say to men. You can do what you like as long as you can command that. How do you command that? So I can say, for example, right, I want 4 wives. If I can't get one woman to marry me, how am I going to get 4? Do you see what I'm trying to say? So first you've got to look at, what do I need to do? You test it. You know, like with these data, test yourself. Go out there. What are you attracting? How much interest are you generating? Why are you not generating this interest? So you've got to look at yourself as a man and think, okay, what is your paradigm of what a man is, or the man that you want to be? And then the question is, what do I need to do to bridge the gap to get there? What work do I need to do? Do I need to improve my looks? Do I need to improve my dress sense? Do I need to style my hair better? Do I need a new identity? Do I need to read more books so I can get in these circles? Do I need to be more educated? Do I need to be more articulate? The key is this. You can have whatever you want as long as you're willing to self-reflect honestly and take the necessary steps to build that life. And this is when I say to people now, when you get to this way of thinking, it's not even about the wife, it's not about the woman, it's nothing to do with any of that. It's about you and the energy you project and the frequency you project onto the world because of who you are. And then you will attract these things, but you have to become it. You have to live it. You have to live by it, not talk about it, live by it. And that's what I say to people. Do not even focus on marriage. Is not the be all and end all. It's not a destination. It's just a journey. It's just a bonus. You're on your mission. You're on your journey to achieve something, to do something, to help someone, to make the world a better place. And along the way, if you, like I said, if you can get a nice 1, 2, 3 shorties to come along with you for the ride, you can have a great time. No problem. But the key is focus on yourself. All the energy that these men are projecting onto women, they're looking for validation. That's what I'm saying. They're looking for validation from an external source. Marriage, women, listen, what is it? Well, what, when you add all of it up, what is it? When you're with a nice woman, you've done a regard, it's just a dopamine release in your brain. It's just a chemical, it's even real. And if you can release dopamine yourself by what you do and how you are, you don't even need her. My point is this: focus on yourself and work on yourself. Do not look for happiness in these external things, material things, wives. Do you see where I'm coming from? Work on yourself. Everything else will come. You will manifest that. You will attract that. But you have to become it first.
100%, brother. My brother, we can go on and on. We're gonna do like a couple of these episodes.
You're right. Yeah, we're gonna for hours.
Because I think we didn't even touch the surface yet. But the reason is I have to go for Jummah prayer. It's almost Jummah time, and I don't like missing the khutbah. With that being said, I really appreciate you coming on this podcast. It's gonna be uploaded this week. I think we benefited a lot of men with a lot of knowledge, and we're gonna continue. And I want to tell you, man, like, don't stop, man. Keep going on this path. Even if you get everything back, I need you to, because men can't stop this journey. Men like you need to do this till you die as well. And I'm excited one day in the UK when I'm going to come see you guys. I'm going to do a UK tour with everybody. I'm going to come chill with you, inshallah. And you're always welcome to Canada if you ever come down here. Even though we don't have much to offer out here, but with that being said, guys, I appreciate you guys tuning in. We dropped a lot of bombs in this, and I hope you guys enjoyed this session. If you like more videos like this, please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel. It means the world to us. With that being said, Allah Hafiz, Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum, brother.
You are going through divorce. You are going through depression. I understand you. I've been there. This is why I've put together a book that guides you through every single thing you need to know from my experiences and other men's experiences living in the West for the past 2 years. This book will absolutely help you through every single process, whether it's courts, custody, dealing with fake charges. It's absolutely free, guys. I've put this together for you. You don't have to wait anymore. No one's coming to save you, so take action.